Hi, this is Pat Moorhead, and the 6.5 is on the road here in San Jose at Intel Innovation 2023, and we are chatting with many of the inventors, the developers, and of course, folks from Intel and their partners. Dan, this is a great show so far. How are you liking it?
It's good to be in San Jose. You know, we are in the...
It's like our home away from home.
We are in the Silicon Valley.
I know.
And we're going to talk some silicon, but not just semis. We're going to get into software, developers. We might even talk a little bit about AI.
Gosh, imagine that. No, I mean, since November, isn't that all we talk about is AI? Isn't that great?
I think it's everything, everywhere, and it's the only thing. And we should talk about nothing else. No.
I agree.
But no, I mean, look, there is so much going on, Pat, and really from the edge to cloud, from the device to the data center, there is a lot of things to be excited about, and technology is moving forward really quickly. And I think having the chance to have some of these partners and executives on the show is just an opportunity to further highlight all the things that are going on.
I totally agree. And you know, a lot of the conversation so far in the AI spectrum has been all about the data center. But as we know, over time, right, compute goes to the point of data and where people are using it. And it is my pleasure to introduce Jerry. Jim, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, welcome to 6.5. First time folks in the 6.5, not first time Intel or Intel partners, but it's great to see both of you.
Yeah, so Jim, Meteor Lake, you've been releasing and announcing a number of details. It's a big week for the company. Give us a little bit of what is going on, what's being announced.
Well, a big debate my team and I have is about Meteor Lake. Great product or AI? Great product or AI? And yes is the answer.
Wait a second, did you guys collaborate?
No, we did not do that at all.
All right.
So by construction, we used all of our new process node technologies. And when we say chiplets, you get to use like the best node for the best part of the product. If it's performance, we're using Intel 4, but you can go for I/O processes. And so our technology brings that together. And I'm just excited to say, like, you're going to see designs that you'll first say, wow, what a great product in Intel tradition. But we have a huge story to tell about AI with software.
Right.
So how many processes?
We have 5 processes in 5 different chiplets. Yeah, and we have a lot of disclosure coming out of that. And it's been a new culture for us to like do that, but it's actually allowed us to take the problem or opportunity of a product into pieces, but it's actually taken like some of the strongest architecture talent deployed to these products. And if you study what's been done, it's really a huge breakthrough. We said hybrid with the last architecture, performance cores and efficient cores was big.
Right.
This is even bigger than that. And it has a lot of software excitement from the ecosystem because of what we can do on it.
Yeah, I mean, this architecture represents really the future of all chip making. And you know, some people don't know that yet, but we are starting to see this, right? Saw a little bit on the data center side, on the client side. Super exciting of what you can do when you get the right IP block on the right process. Now, in the end, it comes down to the core value prop to the end user. What does all that goodness mean in this architecture?
Well, it depends on which part of the market you're in. If you're a heavy communicator, if the PCs become your primary way of having a video conferencing call, there's going to be a lot of tech that gets deployed with Meteor Lake for making that a richer experience and an all-day experience. Our goal is all-day battery life. You don't have to take your power break. If you're a creator, and I'll let Jerry talk a little bit about this, they're finding things they can do with this capability that I didn't ever dream when we architected the product. When we showed up in Taiwan and he gave us demonstrations of what he's doing, it blew our mind on we opened up the architecture with new capability and people are taking advantage of it in ways we hadn't even anticipated.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that, Jerry. I mean, it's funny. Dan and I joke between, software is eating the world to silicon's eating the world, and wait a second, if software is eating the world, what does it run on? Air, right? But the reality is that software and hardware have to come together.
That's true.
If you have these amazing features in hardware and no software, it's irrelevant, and you have this amazing software but no hardware to run on, it's irrelevant too. So what are you doing on the software side to really light up those experiences? Like, something really cool happened in the last time you guys got together, but what's going on the software side?
Okay, allow me to put it this way that a lot of people think about PC hardware. Yeah, just hardware.
Right.
Yeah, be honest, before, really we can treat PC hardware by using Intel or panel or SSD, motherboard put together. Okay, Microsoft is going to do everything. Done.
Right. Call it a day. We're done. It runs
But
Windows.
Today, it's changed.
Yes.
It's changed. I mean, with the Meteor Lake, Intel provides not just hardware, but software tools, like OpenVINO. So with those tools, OEM like Acer, actually, we can base on this hardware and also software to create a lot of features, which in the past, we even don't think, even we think about feature, but we don't have tool to create that.
Right.
Yeah, that's the reason why I think this is really revolution change by the Meteor Lake, by the NPU. Then we have the capability to make a lot of dreams to come true. Yeah, this is amazing.
I love that.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm like excited.
Yeah, excited.
Yeah,
I mean, I lead the R&D team for a long time. It's the first time in my life I saw R&D so energetic.
Right.
Yeah, in the past they have a lot of dreams, but never come true.
Right.
But never come true.
Right.
But right now they have tools. Yeah, and we can base on the tools to lead to the dream, and then the angle is there, and actually we work for years. Yeah, and then we have many creative AI applications.
And these are tools that can run across the CPU, the GPU, the
And the
NPU,
NPU, yes.
right? In harmony, because it gets really complex.
That's true.
If you don't have those tools to be able to know where to optimize. And in many times, and actually I don't want to put words in your mouth, but at least what I've seen on other platforms, like even the smartphone today, you might have an application that lights up all of those subsystems.
Yes.
And you'd be very careful in how you architect that, and without those tools, it's impossible. But I'm super excited to hear this is the case because, you know, we've had AI enabled on the PC for a while, right?
Yes.
You could do it on the CPU, you could do it on the GPU,
yes.
you could do it on an AVX unit, right? But it sounds like something really has clicked into gear that's going to make
true.
a difference
True.
for your customers and your products.
That's true, because you know, CPU, GPU, and NPU, they are not three. There are 1 + 1 + 1 is much larger than 3. That's what Intel OpenVINO tools lead the OEM to do that.
So you're one of the Meteor Lake launch partners with Intel.
Yes.
And you're clearly very enthusiastic.
We
excited.
are. We are.
And I am
both
too.
of us are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew you were, Jim.
Oh, I know. I can't help it. It's infectious, is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things I'm really excited to hear too is I think we have spent so much time kind of thinking about AI through data center because of all the LLMs, and you know that kind of got all the hype since November. And of course, we've been experiencing AI on our devices for some time. You know, whether it's been NLP or you know small language translation, things that we've been doing. You know, we've had apps finishing our sentences for years, trying to, not always correctly.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me like there's a breakthrough here. And in these next generation of PCs, I think we're all kind of wondering what the next generation of tools, technology, PCs, for instance, are going to look like. So it sounds like this next Meteor Lake-based experiences on Acer are going to be that opportunity. When do you see the world? When are these experiences going to start to be available to the audience out there, all the people out there that are listening, and saying, okay, I want to try the computer, the PC of the future? When is that going to start to become available from Acer?
Well, we start to do everything, and be honest, that's somehow available already, but we need to also working with Intel to find the right timing to push to the people. Yeah. So it's been there. I have a demo to him.
Yeah,
So
we'll have Meteor Lake devices out this year on the shelf.
Okay.
And then it'll 10x-ish that in the first quarter. So
do you guys see a wave of PC demand? I mean, this is something that we think a lot about. It's been kind of a tough couple years on PCs in the market.
Well, it was it was kind of in this bust, and there was this boom, and then and then now people are wanting to know what's next, right? And that particularly on the consumer side. And I think in our reports we've talked about a lot of room on the commercial side, particularly because we still don't have a great hybrid work experience. But no, it sounds like units are going to be coming out next year, right?
This year. And Meteor Lake is going to be a big player in commercial. And so again, Meteor Lake being a great product
Yeah.
and doing AI is really important. So it'll have the stable image platform program value proposition.
Right.
And it'll bring new experiences. And Jerry's comment on software, if software companies are any indication of the excitement that's building, you know, they can write, with our OS provider, they can write to a tool that runs on anyone's NPU, heaven forbid not ours, but let's say they want to. But if they tap into OpenVINO, it can run like native like speeds on our NPU. And that's Intel's opportunity and why we invested so heavily in hundreds of software engineers to provide tools to our customers.
Again, the benefits too, at least, you know, in our research, which hasn't, it's funny, are there any new ideas out there? I don't know. They just get bigger, better, faster, right? And if you look at, you know, analytics, that again, nothing ever goes away. Analytics didn't go away when machine learning came out, and then deep learning, and now generative AI, but being able to do the compute locally and do that AI typically means that you're going to get better responses, faster responses, okay? And there are some people who don't want to put all of their information up into the cloud, and that's just a reality. And whether it's financial information, and you know, in some countries, in some regions, even putting photos up into the public cloud is not like it is in certain countries. So I'm super excited about that. So is this really a milestone to the future of computing?
Well, I'll use the analogy. I was around when we brought Wi-Fi from 10% attach rate in notebooks to 100%. So we all were able to unplug from the wire and do computing anywhere we went. And with AI on the client, you're not going to be tethered to the cloud. So the things you want to do with your photos or with your applications or when you're creating something, you don't need to be dependent on the latency to a cloud provider. It's there if you need it, but we're going to keep building things locally. And so Pat, in his last earnings call, I wrote this down because I think he just happened upon it. We're going to unplug from the cloud, AI unplugged from the cloud. Wow. And I think that resonated with me because that's kind of where we're going to keep moving things from the cloud to the client. We're going to be the inference large hardware footprint.
So as the Wi-Fi created its own wave of PC demand, what you're saying is the unplugged AI PC could be, you know, I've genuinely been looking for what is the thing that's going to stimulate the next significant kind of super cycle. You know, we know what happened in 2020 and 21 created kind of this almost, I would say, unexpected and unprecedented super cycle because there wasn't necessarily any sort of earth-shattering technologies that were hitting in that exact period of time. It just happened that all of a sudden everybody needed to do Zoom calls at home. Now we still need AI to make that work better. We need AI to make our microphones sound better. We need AI that enables, to your point, us to continue editing documents using grammar editing, edit photos using photo editing when you're not necessarily connected or you don't have a good connection. Because let's face it, even when you might have connectivity, we all have tethers to our phone. It doesn't always give us enough connectivity to do things in the cloud. So if I can ask, do you guys see this as a super cycle creator? Do you see that kind of demand being pulled forward as people are going to want an AI PC?
Allow me to comment. I think the Wi-Fi is something just that make people connected. Yeah. But after connected, you need to do a lot of things. But think about scenario that we all got stopped by somehow, even my phone, the 5G, the LTE doesn't work. Yeah. I traveled to Seattle 2 weeks ago. The hotel is actually a very good hotel, but just don't know why. My LTE cannot work, my 5G cannot work. And also at that time, which I'm busy in preparing a report to my boss, but the Wi-Fi and also the fixed line in the hotel also cannot work.
Right.
I got stopped.
Right.
And think about, I actually needed some weapon in the cloud to do some analysis, to collect some information for my report. But luckily, I have AI already.
Yeah,
I think this just changed people's life. And also another point will be that in the past, even PC, as you mentioned about, already have AI. But that is normally in a very bulky device. computing power. But right now with Intel Meteor Lake, seeing like this one,
You can just leave that here, by the way. When you leave, I need
we
to play
can
with
run stable diffusion easy.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. In the past,
Without being connected.
without being connected.
Okay.
Without being connected.
You know when we have our meetings and we're talking to each other, but I'm really talking to you looking at your screen,
Yes.
and you're talking to me looking at my screen, we can actually correct that so we're looking at each other's eyes.
But we're not actually looking
We're
at
not
each
looking
other's
at,
eyes.
you're still looking at your screen, but
It looks like you're looking
Yeah.
at my eyes. So now we can be less rude when we're being rude.
yeah, and if I say, you're going to want one of those PCs, I think, but you know, I don't want to forecast the TAM on a video because I'll only live to regret it, but
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect you to actually answer that exactly.
but the excitement is just,
But that enthusiasm to get people back in the stores. You know, there was a certain fruit company that launched another handset last week, and Pat and I are kind of doing
I think we were yawning.
calisthenics to try to figure out why anybody's going to do this. I mean, why would you go spend $1,000 on this thing? You know, when it still has half the optical zoom of another company's device that's been out for 2 years. So this sounds like it's new stuff. It's new capabilities that people say, I cannot upgrade my software. I cannot do any sort of to this device. I have to go buy a new device, and I'm going to get all kinds of new capabilities.
Yes, and I think we just have to look at history on the different waves of computing and recognize that the best type of compute will go as close as it possibly can be to the data. And I think we were all in the industry when a company essentially said that we were going to paint the UI from, it wasn't even called the cloud. It was just called the data center, okay? But what happened is developers kept finding these amazing ways to fill the vessel full of software, UI, and experiences that just made it make more sense. It's funny, the one thing that very few people talk about too is the economics of the end-to-end. It makes a lot more sense even for cloud companies to have all of this compute at the edge, because sending all that data back and forth is super expensive. Acting on that data is very expensive. I don't know if you want to call it a price per MIP or a price per some unit of energy, and it's incredibly inefficient to send everything there.
well, remember the MIPS, you know, better hardware, better software. This was the CPU industry growing up.
Right.
That's exactly what's going to happen for local AI. We're going to have better local AI processing, CPU, GPU, and NPU. They're going to take advantage of it and demand more.
Yeah.
And I think we're in a multi-year, if not a decade, horizon of this bridge of a software spiral in AI.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And maybe we wrap on this, but the biggest difference in my estimation, having been in and around the PC industry for over 30 years, is the excitement in the software. Because it always seemed like the hardware was there, the software is not, right? The shiny software is there and the hardware is not. It seems like we may have had an intersection here, and I do believe that even we can say Windows on this show. Windows is going to help us as well in this, based upon everything public that's been said, what was said at Build, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the PC's been a little jealous of the smartphone that's been running 15 simultaneous neural networks at the same time,
Yeah.
and it wants its time now, and it seems like that time is now.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right. Well, Jim and Jerry, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us here on the 6.5 at Intel Innovation. It's been great to hear from you both. I think there's a lot here, and we have a very exciting cycle ahead. And Pat, we'll put our predictions out later as to just how big it is after the event, but it's always great to be here. It's great to hear from both of you. Thanks for joining us, and come back soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, hit that subscribe button. Join us for all of our coverage here at Intel Innovation 2023 in beautiful San Jose. For Patrick Moore and myself, we got to say goodbye, but we'll see you again really soon.